Hi everyone. I hope everyone doing very well today. I want to uh, introduce to you a new variant of homemade environment sensor. It's an environment sensor in the form of Arduino Mega 2560 shell. Uh, as a demonstration of what you can do, uh, I'm going to make an GPIO expansion. So I'll be expanding the environment sensor with, in a way, 64 GPIO capability. A little bit about the GPIO, why I use Arduino to do that is I'm attempting to build something like a GPIO proxy. What I meant by that is basically the Arduino is written in such a way that there is no configuration cap on the Arduino side. It's not like you're synchronizing and then storing in a ROM or something like that of each uh, pin configuration. The pin configuration is sent from a device driver. So the device driver, if you write, for example, a relay device driver that controlling the pin as an input and output. When the device driver is installed, it configure the pin as an output pin. If the I will have a few sensors and relay to illustrate that. Some of the sensor is an output, and therefore the GPIO need to be an input mode. And some of the thing here that I'm going to be controlling is a relay, so this is need to be an output. So my idea is to write a thin IO proxy where the device driver on the hub side would be able to, to configure each pin and then work on those pins accordingly. So let's get started with the demo. Some of this process will be familiar with for you because of I'm going to start by trying to discover, by the way, before we started, so this is an installed shell GPIO expansion. There is Arduino Mega underneath. It's just hard to show you. So right now it's let me zoom in into the hub. I have a few devices there, but I don't have the environment sensor yet. So I'm gonna try to discover it. I'm going to start pairing it. Okay, found one. I'm gonna give it a name. Since it's a demo, I'll give a demo IO. Okay. For those of you who are familiar with my environment sensor, this is a familiar screen. Except you probably notice about this area. It's basically a command to create the child device for your device driver for the pin. For example, if you want to add, but before that, you don't have to do this. I mean, this is the hard way of doing, or for adding child device driver. You could choose in here which driver you want to install. The driver has to be pre-installed in your device driver code. I'm gonna give all those stuff later on in my GitHub, and then you could enter your pin number, for example 3 or something like that, and you could give the name of your device driver. You could change the name of your device later on, but you could create it in here. We're not going to do that because that's a cumbersome process. What I did, I wrote a helper app where basically it's more like an editing stuff where you could do that easily. So in this app, I can choose this one. This is the environment sensor that we just added. What we say is like, for example, based on what I have on the sensor right now, sorry, on the module, what I connected, like I have a relay, and the relay is from, I don't think you can see it, but just trust me, from pin 32 to pin 39. So in the editor app, we're gonna go down and try to find pin 32. Pin 32. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is a relay. I name it relay 32, relay 33, and so on until relay number 39. In here. Okay. And I also have a few other sensor, obviously, as you can see on the board. For example, I have a motion sensor on pin 47. I also have a tone device. Tone device is similar to a relay. It's controlled by setting a level high or low to make the sound. It's basically a relay. You're connecting to a buzzer. That's connected to pin 48. And I also have this sensor. It's an IR sensor that supposedly be able to detect fire flame. So we're going to be demoing that as well. So that one is connected to pin later on. Okay, so pin 49. I don't have a device driver for, say, like there is a fire or fire detected. Smoke detector is probably the way to do that. But it's pretty much, you could map that into a motion. So I mean, you could think about it for now. But eventually we can add a device driver that translate high or low on a digital plane into fire detected or something like that. So we set everything up, and then we say done on here. Okay, so you could already hear that tone making sound. So if you go in here, all those device driver has been set up. Now the device driver, I mean, not the device driver, but the device itself. It's now you could control the relay, for example. You can hear the click, and I'm going to move my camera and show you. Yep, zoom out. You can see that. Well, it's moving. Okay, you can see that LED off, on, off. Now, the other thing that you could see is this motion control, typical motion sensor. I can move my hand here and there, and then if you, let's go back to the driver side. I mean, motion dash 1. Okay, so I'm gonna wave my hand and make this bigger. Okay, moving my hand, all that stuff. So that to illustrate that you could connect motion sensor kind of like devices into the device. And for the fire detection, one thing that I want to do a little bit interesting is I'm going to I did create a role here, but it's probably broken because of I delete all those devices and create a new one. So what I'm going to do is to create a new trigger. Remember, the fire is set up as a motion sensor. So go there, update, done. So we are saying that if the fire is active, do something. And this is broken, so we're gonna delete a broken action. Done with condition. So okay, we need to add. So this one, we will be doing something with sound to demonstrate another part of it, which is the tone. We make one of the pin as a tone, which is basically an output device that turn and on and off the pin. And then so it's a tone update, done with action. So let's review. If there is a fire, make a tone, make a beep, done. Okay, so we're gonna go back. I have a lighter. Okay. Fire, beep. I don't know how to make it repeat on the beep, but I mean, it would be cool if it's keep repeating while the fire is detected. That's the thing that we can do. And if you see what I have on the board, is basically I have a relay, 8 of them, and I have the beeper one, that's another device, and I have the motion sensor, I have the fire sensor. And here is actually another thing that it's kind of hard to demonstrate its vibration sensor. It run quite quick. Because of that, you probably wouldn't be able to see it on the device. You could use the rule to catch the vibration. We have about probably, say, 10, no, more than that, probably 12 devices that we connect to. That's still less than 15%. Well, no, I mean, probably around 15% of what the pins are capable. You could see that this row are still empty. Most of the pin on the top is empty, are not used. And then the pin on the right hand side, not all the pin in here is a GPIO. This is a power pin, but a lot of them in here is a GPIO pin. So you could imagine what are the things that you could run with this one board. I mean, for all intents of purposes, I think a lot of houses in US or in the world probably could be run if you have wire coming in, right? I mean, imagine that you have a irrigation system, you have an alarm panel. You could easily combine, I mean, how many windows or doors in the house that you have wired as into your alarm system. I mean, this has enough pin for most houses, plus handling an irrigation system, things like that. So, but anyway, this is just one of the use of Arduino. There are plenty other projects that you could do where you could do something with the Arduino, connect some sensor, and then send the data to through the environment sensor, and then route device handler to handle stuff like that. I hope you enjoy the demo. That's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.